Hey everyone, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I'm David Nuño. All business today because we got a bunch of NIL interviews to do. Texas Aggies United. As I break the microphone, who's in the lobby right now, Nick?
That would be Jalen Henderson. And Connor Wigman will be in the lobby a little bit as well.
Yeah, so make sure you're on TexAgs.com to see all that great content. Go hour today, pretty good. OB and I just talking, what did we talk about? We talked about what's going to make Aggies happy, right? Like, what else did we get into, Nick?
Yeah, the schedule, all that good stuff as well.
Mark French joined us, talk a little Aggie basketball. Huge game this weekend against the University of Houston. Connor O'Gara, all things college football related. We did spend some time on Coach Elko, Coach Jimbo, and you name it, all the good stuff. And then TexAgs co-owner and executive editor, I don't think I said the word editor correctly, editor Billy Liucci. That and more right here on the TexAgs Rewind.
Okay, well, I'm on my way to Houston tomorrow morning to see the Aggies play basketball. I want to see them shoot well from three-point line or not shoot as often from there. Mm-hmm. I want to see them actually play the kind of defense that we have been accustomed to seeing a Buzz Williams teams play that we haven't seen as much yet. And I always say yet because I think it's always coming. And I just want to see the Aggies go out and beat UH.
Yeah, love it.
Get the biggest quad one win they will have had so far. They've already had a couple. But, man, if you go out and beat UH, a heck of a statement. And this is just throwing. I sure would like to see them actually have players from Houston.
That'd be nice.
Houston sure turns out a lot of good basketball players. Wish some of them were here.
OB, I think ours is going to match a little bit.
Okay.
I want smarter threes, all right? In rhythm, not forced at the right time with maybe that extra pass where you hit that three where the defense collapses elsewhere and you're completely open. I want smart threes. If we're going to take threes, let's take smarter threes. Mm-hmm. Be more efficient with the three-point shooting. Here's one. Punch U of H in the mouth first. We already know that a Kelvin Sampson-led team is going to bring some physicality. Mm-hmm. They're going to play defense.
Well, they're going to play defense.
And they're going to be able to shoot, right? But this particular season, they have not played a team at the level of A&M's experience or ability.
It's true.
So punch them in the freaking mouth early and let them have to, do to them what maybe Virginia did to you, right? Like, you dictate the tempo. You do it your way. Let them have to kind of feel their way through, but punch them in the mouth first. Those are the first two. And here's one I asked for last weekend, and I got it. Another transfer of substance to come to Texas A&M. So Will Lee, that was a big deal.
That's a big one.
Willie, big deal. Sorry, I had to do it. Thank you, Luke. At least Luke laughed. What is it going to take against Houston? What must they do? What can they not do?
Yeah, so obviously you can't turn the ball over against top 5 teams. You're going to have a couple guys go for 15 to 20 points. I think you don't want to match exactly what they do, but you're going to have to hit threes like we just talked about, just the math in the modern game. And at the end of the day, Wade and Henry have to play two of the top, call it 15 to 20 guys in the SEC, right? If they're going to be all conference guys, this is the game where you show it, right? And this is the game where, if you go get this one, what does that do going into conference and into Christmas? Suddenly the dinner table at Christmas when the players are home for 2 or 3 days, it's not, what are we going to do to get out of the hole? It's, oh my gosh, we beat UH. I'm very excited. I can't wait to go back Christmas night and practice. It's just a different dynamic. And so we always talked about splitting Memphis and Houston. That's still on the table. And so, but it comes down to turnovers, offensive rebounding, and three-point shooting. You could literally circle those 3 categories the rest of the way and know if the Aggies won or not, probably.
Mark, when it comes to Houston, one of the things that I want to see A&M do is punch them in the mouth early. And because I expect Houston to punch early, right? That's in their DNA as well. But they have not taken on the level of team A&M has this year. That's just the facts of the matter. They are a seasoned team. They've gone through this. This is a program that is used to big matches. So I'm not saying it's going to be a shock to them, but up to this point, they haven't played somebody at the level of A&M. A&M has, so this is important for them to strike first.
Yeah, and both these coaches, they'll take it personally. I had the pleasure of meeting Sampson at the Final Four AIA breakfast last year. Unbelievable. Really was I've known about him for a long time, but was just really impressed. And
I don't think I've ever said anything negative about Mike Elko. I don't think I have. Today's not the day in which that's going to start. When this search began, I was kind of hoping that Elko would be the guy. And of course, because of the way that the last hire played out, you still have to open up yourself to the possibility that maybe it is going to be Lane Kiffin. Maybe they will make a big swing and go after Dan Lanning. I think that still there was a part of me that wanted to see Mike Elko come back to College Station because I loved the things that he did in the 4 years there. And I thought it was so vastly under discussed, nationally at least, how good that defense was. And I think even in 2021, where that offense was a disaster, but why were they still able to win 8 games? Because they're the number 3 defense in the country. And Mike Elko did that year over year. And the fact that in the 2 years that he spent at Duke, he won more games than A&M did in that 2-year stretch, it showed you this guy knows how to build a program. He knows how to develop talent. He's going to put guys in the right spot on the defensive side of the ball. And I think to me, that hire made a lot of sense. Now, TBD on whether or not he's going to continue to make the right moves. You still got to, know how to handle quarterback battles and when to fire a coordinator and when to adapt here and when to do this there. And when to, you got to be able to hit in the portal these days. But, I like what I've seen so far just from the simple fact of bringing in Colin Klein is a move that if you could have told me Mike Elko is going to make one coordinator hire and go after a guy like that's on the short list of the 2 or 3 that I would pick. If you could pick anybody in the country and he went out and got him. So I like what I've seen so far from Elko, and I continue to sing his praises.
I think that's as good a schedule. It's funny. It's funny because I was on all my comments on Twitter, which is always a dangerous place to be, but everybody, all the Longhorn fans are going, oh, this SEC schedule's not that bad. They got a gift of an SEC schedule.
They did.
Well, guess what? I think A&M had a gift of an SEC schedule last year and this year. Not the last 3 years has not been a truly rough SEC schedule by any measure. Now, this one, even more so. Because I look at that thing, and look, I think Auburn's going to be vastly improved. That's one of the most dangerous games on the schedule. I think that, obviously LSU and Texas, LSU, and Notre Dame, right? Missouri's going to be really good.
Yeah.
So, unfortunate that you caught Missouri, and I think Auburn's going to be. But my point is this: Notre Dame at the beginning. You open SEC play with Florida and Arkansas, couple wins in there as well. In this league, that's as good an open as you can have.
Yeah.
Even with Notre Dame, they might have Riley Leonard as their starting quarterback, but they're going through a lot of transition too. They're coming in here. Look, until you get Missouri, and then that's a tough one. And then you got an upstart Mississippi State. And then you got another tough one. And guess what? Your 3 toughest games probably, I wouldn't even say Notre Dame's in your top 3. I think that's going to be Missouri or Auburn. But your 3 toughest games, biggest name opponents, they're at home. You've got 2 bye weeks mixed in there. What you always get scared of and you look at are like brutal back-to-backs. Where's that? They're your last 2 games of the season. So, where is there a brutal 3-game stretch? I don't see it. I don't think that exists. So, the schedule is laid out as nice as you could ask for. It's a very tough schedule. I look at what A&M's got, and, we don't know what the Aggies are going to look like yet. But I see at least 4 teams, if not 5, that are going to be ranked ahead of A&M to start the season.
All right, friends, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Anything else, Nick?
Keep watching our videos. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.